Hello, this is another one of my videos on Alistair Parker's short history of the Second World War. This one continuing his chapter on the murder of the European Jews, talking about the move to indiscriminate slaughter. It is obviously heavy as a subject, and you're warned. This is a particularly long chapter, so I've divided it into 6 sections, 6 videos, and this is the second one. Indiscriminate slaughter of Jews began in the summer of 1941, when the Germans caught, that's the word used here, Jews in the conquered areas of the Soviet Union. 4 SS action groups, Einsatzgruppen, made up of fewer than 3,000 men, initially 3,000, followed the invading armies with orders to kill all Red Army political commissars and civilian communist officials. SS General Heydrich, the chief of the SD security police, specifically included Jews in party or state employment, as well as other radical elements, whilst Field Marshal Keitel ordered that his troops take ruthless and energetic action against the Jews as the main bearers of Bolshevism. In response, the Einsatzgruppen took these instructions to mean that a complete cleansing was called for. With the help of German police units, SS combat troops, local helpers, and sometimes army units, they killed between 400,000 and 500,000 Jews by the end of 1941, regardless of age or sex. Prior to the campaign in the Soviet Union, enforced migration had been the preferred solution to the so-called Jewish problem, with experts mulling over 2 possible plans. First, to move the Jews to the part of German-occupied Poland, which had not been incorporated into Germany proper, that is the so-called General Gouvernement, or 2, from the summer of 1940, that all Jews would be transported to the island of Madagascar, taken from the French, and converted into a Jewish national home run by the SS. As the British refused to make peace, the second scheme was unworkable, leaving only the first. Already, several 100,000 Jews had been moved into the general government area from those Polish territories incorporated into the German state, as well as Poles deemed surplus to German needs for cheap labor. By early 1941, the general government was therefore crowded with displaced people, and Hans Frank, the German Governor-General, objected to receiving any more. But as Hitler was impatient to drive all Jews out of Germany itself, deportations were begun in mid-October 1941, whilst the first trainloads were sent to the ghetto in Lodz, now added to the German state. The next, from November 1941 to January 1942, were sent to Warsaw in the general government, as well as Kaunas, Minsk, and Riga in the area of the SS killing squads, where many were killed upon arrival or soon after. This was the start of the second phase of the final solution. The first phase had consisted of murder squads killing captured Jews in the newly conquered territories. Now Jews from elsewhere in Europe were being packed into trains and delivered for slaughter in the east. Then we have the 1C conference in Berlin in January 1942, at which senior civil servants and military and police officials met to decide upon efficient procedures for the capture and transportation of the victims. As shooting was relatively slow and difficult to conceal, new methods of mass killing were devised by Himmler and the SS. Whilst they were unconcerned by the reactions of Poles or Russians, the negative response by the German army to the mass killings in public, as being for the army a stain on their honor, was something different. Secluded killings now became the norm, with some Einsatzgruppen commandos using vans where the victims could be killed by exhaust fumes. Killing centers were also established with fixed installations using carbon monoxide from diesel engines or gas cylinders, pellets of solidified prussic acid, that's hydrogen cyanide under the trade name Zyklon, dropped into gas chambers where they vaporized into lethal fumes, proved more efficient. And with attached crematoria, gas chambers could kill up to 10,000 victims a day, although the crematoria sometimes lagged behind. Within 6 months, the SS and the SD had expanded their original mission of killing committed Bolsheviks into killing all the Jews they could round up. The final solution had begun, and in less than 4 years, about 5 million men, women, and children had been murdered. Of these, the greatest number came from Poland, perhaps 2.5 million, and the western parts of the Soviet Union, another million. But 550,000 came from Hungary, 200,000 from the Baltic states, over 100,000 each from Germany in its 1937 frontiers, Romania in its 1942 frontiers, and the Netherlands, and smaller numbers from the rest of German-controlled Europe. All these figures, of course, are estimates. In percentage terms, some 90% of the Jews from Poland, the Czech lands, Austria and Serbia were killed. 85% of those from pre-war Germany, 80% of those from Greece, Croatia and Luxembourg, 75% of those from the Baltics and Slovakia, 70% from the Western Soviet Union, Hungary and the Netherlands, and then 45% of those from Belgium and 40% of those from Norway. Lower percentages are estimated for France, 25%, 75,000 people, Romania, 20% at 120,000 people, Bulgaria and Italy, both 15% with 11,000 and 6,800 people respectively, and Denmark, finally, with only 1%, 50 people. These varying rates are due to several factors, which we'll come back to in one of the later videos. The mass killings were most successful where German control was the strongest, the least inhibited by local laws, and the least reliant on the help of local governments and administrators. So this is Parker's account of the basic structure of mass murder which was constructed by the Nazis. Very distressing. Thank you for listening, and particular thanks to my patrons for their kind support and encouragement. Please do like, comment and share on the videos if you wish. Subscribe if you want to be notified of future videos. I'll give links to Patreon and PayPal below in case you want to provide practical support. Next week we'll move on to a third section which I've entitled Instigators, Perpetrators and Accomplices. Thank you.